Have you ever been grinding Valorant for hours on end, yet your aim still looks like this? Having good aim is what every Valorant player strives for. The hard part is that most don't actually know how to get this sort of aim, or they don't have the structure that they need to get themselves to the aim of Immortal or Radiant players. We're going to solve that problem today and show you how to get Immortal level aim in just 1 month and bring your game to the next level. Without further ado, let's jump right into it. Now, before we begin anything, we first need to identify the main aspects of aiming that will help to give us an idea of what we need to work on and how these different drills and routines will help us work on these specific aspects of aim. The most important aspect of aiming is tracking. This refers to the ability to accurately follow the enemy model as you or they move across your screen. If you're able to maintain your crosshair at the enemy the entire time, chances are you'll be able to simply click and get that juicy headshot and kill. Tracking goes right along with crosshair placement. You've likely heard of it before, but you want to have your crosshair at head level at all times. But being able to take that an extra step further and actually be able to place your crosshair onto the enemy's head is where tracking comes into play. From there, there's movement. In a large majority of duels, there's going to be some sort of movement going on, whether it's from you or the enemy. Maybe you're running onto a site and then you have to counter strafe before shooting, or maybe you need to go for a short swing or wide swing onto an enemy that's holding a corner to throw them off. Movement is actually a massive part of aim, and it can get overlooked by those who think that aim is solely just about your mouse movements. Even more overlooked though is game sense for your aim. Game sense is referring to your in-game knowledge and knowing what to do based on certain scenarios. If you're running around the map like a madman with no plan or reasoning for why you're doing what you're doing, chances are you're not putting yourself in good positions to take favorable duels. Knowledge is power, and knowing how to put yourself in situations that favor you will also greatly help your aim. We won't go too much into detail on game sense in this guide, as it could be an entirely new guide on its own, but note that it does have an impact in your aim. And lastly, we have flick shots. This is what most players think about when they think about good aim. This is where you're able to take big swipes to kill an enemy that's completely out of where your crosshair was originally placed. While these shots are flashy, if we follow the other aiming aspects we just talked about, you shouldn't have to hit a flick shot all that often. Flick shots are hard to do, no matter how good the player is. This is why so many pros like to save the effort and make it as easy for them as possible and train the other aspects of their aim, such as tracking, crosshair placement, and movement, to help themselves land better shots. With the main aspects of aiming out of the way though, there are 3 main ways to practice them. The first is with an aim trainer. Most popular, there's Kovacs, which costs around $10, and then there's Aim Labs, which was released in the past few years, and that's free. Both are great options to use. However, while aim trainers are great practice, we suggest only spending a small portion of your time on aim trainers, as the main part of your practice should be in-game, where you'll get a greater translation and aim from that. Therefore, for today's guide, we're going to start out by reviewing Aim Labs, which is a free resource for you all to achieve a relatively same purpose, and then from there we recommend Deathmatch and the practice range to work on your aim. These give you the most practice in the shortest amount of time. Unrated and ranked give you a real-world scenario. However, a lot of the time spent in these modes are actually just running around the map, using abilities, or holding an angle waiting for somebody to show up. This is time that could be spent aim training with other methods, but of course we suggest you do spend a good amount of time with in-game practice, but Deathmatch and practice range will give you the most bang for your buck in terms of pure aim improvement. First up is Aim Labs though. There are 3 default game modes on Aim Labs that we suggest in terms of working on your aim. The first is Gridshot, and this is the most widely known if you're familiar with Aim Labs, as you've likely seen 10s pulling off insane numbers and speed on this mode. Gridshot works on being able to make quick adjustments to your aim, and with this mode you'll be practicing making small tweaks, but also moderating flicks onto targets, as you may have to do if an enemy catches you in a position that you weren't expecting. Start off slow and try to get a 90% accuracy rate, and then once you've achieved that, slowly push yourself to try to go faster and faster to increase your score. One thing to note with Aim Labs is that you do lose points if you miss a shot, so accuracy is heavily emphasized here. Next is Spidershot. In this mode, you'll be aiming at targets of various sizes and positions. The emphasis here is going to be on precision. You want to make sure that you're focusing on quality more than quantity. Take your aim and make sure your crosshair is on the target before you shoot. Similar with Gridshot, as you feel better and better with your accuracy, try to go faster, but if you start to miss your shots, slow back down to where you're getting a higher success rate. Lastly, we have Strafe Track, which is specifically targeting your tracking skills, which we mentioned earlier is a huge part of your aim in Valorant. No need to shoot here, simply track your target with your mouse and the whole time try to avoid your crosshair from going outside the target. This one tends to get neglected a little bit, but it's very important for your aim and you definitely want to work on it if you want to hit your shots. With all of these game modes, we recommend performing them 3 to 4 times each day, which will put you around 9 to 12 minutes of practice. Again, this is going to work on certain aspects of your aim, but it shouldn't be the biggest part of your training. We've found for players though that a small chunk of time in aim trainers has really helped them, so we suggest implementing it but not going crazy with it. Speaking of crazy though, if you want to have even crazier aim, you definitely want to head over to SkillCapped.com to take a look at our comprehensive guides that will get your aim improving even faster. We have a whole guide dedicated to helping you become an aim god, so make sure to check that out, link in the description below. Now let's get into the meat of our aim training and head into the practice range. Here there are multiple drills that you can do with actual weapons and enemy models that you'll experience in game. With all of these drills, we recommend spending about 3 to 4 minutes a day on. The basics to start off with is using the practice mode and tapping bots one by one from left to right and then from right to left. This will work on that initial tracking that we've been emphasizing. Make sure you go both ways though, as it's likely there's one direction that you go better with and one that you feel slightly less comfortable with. Really focusing on keeping your crosshair at head level and moving your mouse horizontally rather than vertically, as that will help you stay at the headshot range most often. As you get better and better with this, try to up the speed to get your tracking faster and more efficiently. You can also mix things up by alternating between tapping and burst firing, and then both these techniques will really emphasize your precision. From there, we're going to be working on your strafe shooting. With this drill, you're going to go into the practice mode, and then you can go in front of the bots or to the side of them, it really doesn't matter. Now you're going to add movement into the mix with your aim along with precision. Use your side buttons to go alternate between left and right, and as you're moving, pick a bot to track down with your crosshair. After a few steps, stop, make sure your crosshair is on the bot's head, and then fire. Now we're combining tracking and movement as with several scenarios in Valorant. You will be on the move and also be facing moving targets, such as you would with those hectic pistol rounds in Valorant. To really emphasize the timing in which you can shoot after strafing, we're going to use the back walls and the sheriff, and then from here we're going to put on performing shoulder peeks, where we will really only expose ourselves for a brief moment before ducking back into cover. During those peaks, we're going to try to find and hit a target and attempt to kill them with 1 to 2 strafe shots. With this, we're really working on the movement now. Particularly, this is a scenario where we have to push onto sight or in a choke point, and then you have to peek an angle and fight. In these situations, you only have a moment to react before your enemy does, so having proper movement and also knowing when you can shoot accurately while on the move is going to help you react and shoot faster. After that, we're going to play with the speed settings, and we're going to really work with easy and medium modes. Hard mode is great and all, but it really works on your flick shots, which we mentioned earlier shouldn't be the primary way that you try to land your shots. You want to have good movement, good game sense, and good tracking. Easy and medium will help you much more with working on those more crucial aspects of your aim. Start off on easy mode and focus on getting your crosshair at head level and then tapping just once with any weapon. Although preferably you should use the Vandal or the Sheriff for this exercise. You can start out stationary but then add that strafe shooting into the mix as we just showed you, and that'll make your practice a lot more realistic. Once you start to comfortably hit 25 to 30 hits consistently with one tapping, you can move on to doing the same thing on medium mode. The bots will disappear quicker here, thus forcing you to have to aim faster while still having to be precise. Focus on one tapping still, and again start stationary and then begin adding the strafing to include movement into the mix. Lastly, we want to work on recoil control. We're going to emphasize the rifles here, but if there are other weapons that you feel you need to work on, the concept for these drills stays the same. Go into this section of the training range and spray bursts of 3 to 5 bullets onto the board at 10 meters. Perform this a few times and look to see if your bullets really are being close together, preferably in the first small circle, but a few on the second is okay as well as you go further. Perform this for 10 reps or until the bursts are looking good and condensed, and then move on to the 20 meters and repeat the same routine. When that looks good, go to 30 meters and make sure to monitor your bursts and see how accurate they look. If they're landing above the smallest circle, then you'll need to pull down more and vice versa. If that's feeling good, start to fire bursts of 10 to 15 bullets at those 3 ranges that we mentioned and try to control your recoil the same way. The later bullets in your spray will be more wild and random, so you'll have to start moving left to right based on where the bullets are going. You shouldn't have to spray too much though if you have good fundamentals with your aim. But we like to burst up to at least 15, as there can be scenarios where you're just feeling off and need to spray that many bullets onto the enemy. Essentially, this is just a backup option in case things initially seem to go south in an aim duel. Perform this for the same reps and duration. That's all we have for our routine. Altogether, it shouldn't take no more than 30 to 45 minutes to perform, but it will make a big impact in getting you that immortal aim that you've always wanted. If you stay consistent with this routine, we guarantee you'll start seeing results. Make sure to like, subscribe, and hit the bell icon to get more premium guides just like this one with one goal in mind, helping you become a better player. We here at SkillCapped want to thank you all for watching, and we'll catch you in the next one.